Okay, folks, good morning. Early start. Woke up a little earlier than normal on my own. No alarm. Let's see where we left this thing at. Still lots of barren space. Have a little bit of a headache, so if I seem like I'm a little slower than normal, well, I'm a little slower than normal. All right, Mr. Heffalump. I don't know what's going on with this brush that has the stuff on the tips are stuck together. See if we can deal with that. Not really sure what's causing that. Almost like it's red. I don't even remember doing that. Doing anything with red. Okay. Strange. I want to say that happened yesterday too. Well, I bought several of these brushes that were not from you know where. Not know if the quality is any better. But that's not why I didn't buy them from you know where. Just don't want to buy them from you know where anymore. But these are too good. Okay. I'm try to use only those really good brushes, the ones that have a really good point. This one has a really good. This one has a pretty good point too, or it did. That only for faces and stuff like that. Mr. Shevlin, welcome. Getting earlier and earlier. Yeah, it's unusually early. I woke up at 4:30 on my own. A little bit of a headache. I'm getting to be where if I get a headache in the morning, I can't be in bed. Something about being in that horizontal position makes the headache worse. So I'm like, F it, let me just get up. So yeah, I woke up before my alarm. I have my alarm normally set at 5 a.m. every day. And I found out a long time ago, if you really want to not dislike a work day so much, just wake up on a weekend the same time. And that way you're not dreading, oh, here's the 5 a.m. wake up call. And just wake up at the same time every day. But I actually beat the alarm today. Have a little bit of a twinge of a headache. I don't know that it's too bad. I've got a Coke and some water, so I'll either quit the painting session or I'll get better. One of those two things will happen. So I don't want to jinx myself, but supposedly we should have a filming session tomorrow. If the correct amount of people that said they were reported are going to show up. We got 4, so it should be doable. But it doesn't bother me any. If we don't film, I don't have to edit. And the editing isn't the problem, it's that whole uploading, the crunching part, so we'll see. We don't have anything. We don't have a theme that's super, 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 super cool. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I don't know what time I went to sleep last night. 10, maybe? You know? Oh, a late riser. If I wake up at 6 a.m., I don't have enough time to do stuff. On the weekends, on the weekday, people could be up at the same time. I need an hour to myself. I need an hour to myself. Minimum. Alright, what do we got left on this clown? Yes, clowns can be elephants. Well, they were at the circus. Alright, we have a bell to do. Alright, let's get the bronze out. Let's do his bell, and the boss on the shield, we'll do it in bronze as well. Is there any left? It looks like the body should be alive. I didn't have that much of a productive day yesterday, but I did get my car washed. I should say I did go wash my car. Not paying somebody $40 or $50 to wash my car when I can do it for 12. I don't mind doing it either. Alright, well that's done. Ring that bell. Yeah, because an elephant doesn't make enough sound. It's like the little bells on cats, right? You gotta put that on there so you know where the little cat's going. I'm pretty sure you know when an elephant's moving around. It's stealth elephant. Reminds me when my daughter was little. We got her. There's a stuffed animal that I got her specifically because I saw it in a film, and and I didn't know that it had a rattle in it, like a built-in rattle. Not a very loud one, but so we'd put it in the crib, and you could tell when she was awake because you could hear the rattle kind of going a little bit. You know, it wasn't really like, you know, it was just you knew when she was awake and stuff. So that's the same thing. You put a rattle on an elephant, so you know when he's moving around and stuff. Now, he's got some kind of a stick here with a pointy end. That's the prod for him. I'm guessing the handle should still be wood. He's got some kind of a face covering. And sleeves. Well, I'm going to give him white sleeves because they are the white Huns. Let's do that. We're going to need to get in a little bit more with this. No, I'm stuffy. It happens several mornings sometimes, and then it just kind of goes away on its own. I'm not getting sick or anything, just... It's really bad if I stay at a hotel. I think it's the carpet. I have no carpet at home, so... And don't need any. Right, sleeves it is. And we need to paint the basing on the World War II figures. I'd say that evenings are probably the worst time for me to paint, but I've had some pretty successful evening sessions. Well, it just depends. I don't know if there's a set time for it that's better than others. Other than in the morning, it allows you to do something positive. You've gotten to do something positive before anybody even wakes up. Let's paint his little hand. Maybe some of his hidden face back there. I wonder what causes some people to show up like they're viewing and sometimes they're not. I don't think it's anything somebody or people are doing themselves. I've seen it happen with several folks. I'll be having a back and forth conversation with somebody and it says viewers 0. Like, why? Why did that happen? I honestly wish it had a function where I could tell who's on there. You know, so I could say, hey, what's up, Bob? Not that I have a Bob person that comes on, but I think I read about it. It's like for privacy reasons. These things that we use for free, YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that, they have all kinds of things going on. I don't need any more black. I got plenty of it back there. They have all kinds of things going on in the background we're not even aware of. Like, I got really annoyed yesterday because on my Facebook feed, I keep seeing these damn reels, and I don't want to see any of them. How many fake gags do you need to see? You know, fake gags that, you know the camera's there. Or how many people do I need to see dancing or mouthing the words like they're saying some rap lyric or some shit like that? Like, I want to turn that stuff off, and somehow you can't. They keep coming back. Maybe I should pass the love forward, make my own reels painting. I find those short little videos are very ADD causing. You know, you get used to like, oh, I can't handle more than 30 seconds of stimulation and I gotta go to something else. I think it gives people things they don't have. Let's paint his face hidden back in there somewhere. Already feeling better. The power of Tylenol. This is supposed to be a timid elephant, so technically it's 900 years later than the period I'm doing, but that's why I didn't use metal armor. I'm thinking, leather's been around for a long time. It's a superior elephant, so superior ranked elephant, so we got to make them look feisty. No? I hated having to cut off yesterday, and there was 8 people online. It takes a long time to get everybody in, and then, well, I warned everybody I had to get some stuff done that you could only do at that time. I went out for a quick breakfast and had a couple things that we needed to do, and never did manage to. Ed Kanaru, welcome back. Your icon is yours is the only one that's that color. Oh, well, it's a custom one. Oh, I see. It's like a little mouse or something. Yeah, it's almost like something in like a snowstorm. At least that's what I see from this distance, because I can't see worth a damn unless I put my glasses on, or I put my contacts in and then I can't see. Then I can't paint. That's kind of an annoying thing that happened about 6 years ago. As somebody who's been nearsighted pretty much their entire life, it's really weird to be too close to something where you can't see it. It's a very foreign concept. But now I just take my contacts out and I got built-in magnification that I never used to paint in. It's not really needed. I could paint in 20/20 vision. You just need to be able to see, be able to focus at that point. So, and that's why I'm looking up here and I'm always like squinting, because I can't read. I gotta get what would that be? 8 inches, 10 inches from the screen to be able to see what people are typing. Oh well. Man, I really want to go into my closet and pull out some terrain. Work on some terrain today. I don't know if I'm going to get around to doing that. I want to work on some 20mm terrain. I don't want it to take over this. I mean, I'm willing to work on both of them. This one guy that I follow on Facebook, I guess he's got a lot of stuff, and he's taking pictures of, I guess, how he's going through it around his hobby room, and man, he's got a lot of stuff that's half done, and that's kind of how I was when I was doing 1/35th scale models. I would like work on something and then realize, I don't know if I'm gonna make it this color or this color, or I got analysis paralysis, and then I'd be like, another kit. I'll buy another kit. So I ended up having 12, 14 kits half started, and I find that maddening. It's almost like, F it, throw it all away and start over, Weekends were kind of busy lately, so unable to visit streams. I get it. I get it. And you gotta, you gotta not be busy so you can paint, because that's what I would do. I mean, I have watched other people doing streams kind of like this, and I always do it. I always did it when I was doing the same kind of stuff, just having some kind of background conversation. One of them, I even did it when I was painting something in 1-to-1 scale. I had to paint a door or doors, and I'm like, I got to listen to something that's a little bit more varied. Sometimes you listen to like something on Audible or a book. I still call a book on tape, even though it's. I don't remember the last time I listened to something on a tape. I still call it book on tape, and it was just something, a distraction to kind of have in the background. So, yeah, nobody's sit there and looking at the picture that I have going on. I mean, certainly you can look at what I'm doing, but it's a radio show. It's a radio show. So I've done that before. I don't like this down here. Let's change it up here. Get your ass on up here, Mr. Napkin. My weekends haven't been too busy lately. I like it that way. It's like what I could feel. It's like the only thing I feel like I can control a weekend. During the week, there isn't time to do anything. All right, so this guy's got some kind of little cap or something. I'm not going to make it metallic because nobody in this army has a metallic cap. But we always had a weak spot for non-standard unit types in war games, like elephants, weird chariots. Of course, that's what makes it interesting. I'm a World War II gamer at heart. So painting something like an elephant, even horses, is like exotic, you know? Because all we used to do was paint stuff like this. These chaps. So, how do those look on the screen? Yeah, they look all right. I changed the brightness. I had it on too bright. And still, it's not the same as pictures, so. Let's see if we can. These were painted over 20 years ago. The only really thing that's changed in my painting style is I probably create a little bit more contrast than I used to. These are painted more realistic than I do now. I probably would have added another layer of highlight on top of them, but we're going to leave them as is. I wanted to get some 20 millimeter, my 20 millimeter fix, and I figured it was either that or start painting some partisans. And I'm like, well, that's a whole project. Let's bring all my 20s, the basing up to a level that I'm happy with. And on the basing, the painting's fine, just the basing's bad. We didn't know any better. We didn't have the internet when I painted them, or it isn't what it is now. I had my own personal internet at home I want to say February 1999. But it's nowhere what it is now. You know, it's real easy to share pictures and stuff with folks. Back then, you had to find the right bulletin board, and it was just a pain in the ass. One of the things that wasn't better in the last century, finding information about historical stuff. Why is this so damn watery? All right, something weird's going on here. Me no likey. This is obviously thick. We'll mix it off. We'll mix it on the cardboard and eat to soak up some color. The baton. Whatever that stick that's called. That you pierce the elephant's skull when he misbehaves. Maybe that's what the helmet's for, because you're going to go on for, you do that and you're going to go for a ride. I don't remember what it's called right now. Yeah, I'm going to have to repaint that little leather part. And it's hard to get in there. Which is actually a really rare event for me, that I have to repaint something. That'd be really frustrating if I had to repaint things all the time. Just a waste of time. I remember when I first started painting many years ago, everybody made such a big deal out of, make sure you paint from the inside out. Like things that are the closest to whatever on towards the inside, and then paint your way out. And I'm like, I guess that's really important, because everybody would see and mention it. And I rarely do that. I just paint the most dominant thing, and I kind of eliminate, things like, okay, I want the elephant. I know I want the armor on the elephant leather colored, so frickin' paint that. Well, I don't know what to do next. Well, we know the elephant's going to be grayish, so paint that. You just kind of eliminate choices that you have to then see how all the colors are around it, and for contrast purposes, make your decision on what you're going to do next based on that. But that's how I paint, because I can pretty much reach everything. The exception being what just happened there. I just clipped a little bit of leather, but it's not a big deal. You just come in and add that, lighten it up with some white, and we're done. It's just a waste of time aspect. I don't want to repaint something that Is it this that's too wet? How strange. God, I never experienced this, ever. All right. So I don't put a whole lot of thought into that, painting a certain way. You know, you want to paint eyes before you're done with the face so that if you have to correct any of it, you don't have to correct all the face. Stuff like that, but if you already got your ways set of how you paint, just stick with that. I'm not all of a sudden going to go, you know what? I'm going to start basing my figures and I'm going to start priming in white. It's not happening. It's not happening. Doesn't work for me. Okay, Carl, have fun. Have a easy day. Don't have too wild of a weekend. Relaxificate. For me, weekend isn't like whether you get a lot of stuff done or not. It's just where you rushed the whole time. I don't want to be rushed. I don't mind getting a lot of stuff done. It's empowering, but being rushed, that sucks. Don't rush me. Don't interrupt me. That smells of weekday. That smells of weekday. Now, we do have a little bit of a armored tail section there. Let's get some of this. All right, we used this leather here. And we lightened it with this. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but we gotta make these leather pieces pop a little bit more. Those of you that are in the UK, what time is tea time? Is that an afternoon thing? Is it a between lunch and dinner or supper? I never call things supper. I always call them dinner. The nighttime meal. Is it like a 2 p.m. thing, or is it like a more like a 10:30, 11 a.m. thing? I don't know why I was thinking about that. I'd like tea time, but I hate drinking hot things. Like, I don't even drink hot coffee. So it'd have to be cold tea for me. I do like English tea, though. It tastes good. I drink coffee, but it's only for medicinal purposes. Tea just doesn't have enough caffeine for my liking. Red Care, welcome. Tea at 5. Any other time is unseemly. 5 p.m.? So what time do you have dinner? See, 5 p.m. is dinner time for me. Actually, yesterday, we had dinner at 4:30. And I think like in Spain, they do something stupid like eat at 9:30 at night or something like that. Man, you got to be up a long time to freaking digest that. I am not a night owl person. Decaf 2 is the spawn of the devil. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink decaf anything. And this has like no caffeine in it whatsoever. There's very, very little. This whole thing has 57 milligrams. That's half a cup of coffee, or maybe even less than that. I got a headache this morning. I think I had something too sweet too late yesterday. And that's what happens to me now. If I have something too sweet too late and go to sleep, my body doesn't like that. Dinner 8, supper 10. No wonder I'm 18 stone. 18 times 14. Can't do that in my head. Yeah. Dinner's what we call here in the U.S. supper. So my normal eating times are 5 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m. So I don't like to eat late. I like to eat early because it's like your reward for living through the night is you get to eat and you get coffee. Elephant is going well. It is. It just takes a long time. It's okay. It's not like this is stressful. If it was stressful, it would suck, but I think what's going on is this is a fine tip brush, but it's kind of a big brush, which means it grabs a lot of moisture and it stays in there. It's drying out on me too much. I want some contrast here with the... Yeah, I like English tea. What they call English breakfast or Earl Grey, or I guess there's probably other. I like that stuff tastes good. Coffee tastes like shit. But coffee has, that motivational vitamin called caffeine. That's the only drink. That's the only reason I drink it. Elephant Armies in Newbury. Competition at 10th of September. Completely forgot about the hephthalites. Yes, you have that disease called hephthalites. Yeah, there's zero information on these guys either. So I'm using a little bit of artistic license. DBM, these guys are supposed to be, DBMM, they're supposed to be superior elephants. So they're going to have a ground crew. And I figured, what the F? Let's make them armored. It's not metal armor. I'm just using leather. Certainly they protect these guys. But the hephthalites had hundreds of elephants, supposedly. It's kind of hard to believe that they had that many elephants, but then nobody knew jack shit about them. Like, they didn't know what they looked like or any of that kind of stuff. The UK's awake. Mr. Jeffrey, English breakfast tea for me, although I'm drinking peppermint tea more these days. I don't know what that is. I do like English breakfast tea. That stuff tastes good. You guys put that creamer in it, right? I had that one time. It just seems like I don't drink coffee or anything with cream in it. It just seems it makes it more drinkable, which means I drink it too fast. It's almost like it dilutes the caffeine. $18 stone. I'm like 18 stone. I gotta figure, what the hell's 18 stone? That's not that. That's a gamer medium. Oh shit! I haven't done this in a long freaking time. Oh shit! Oh man, I don't know if I remember how to do this. All right, well hold on a second. 20 times 14 is oh my god, I don't have enough caffeine in me. I've turned into a millennial tard. And I'm not bad at math. really shouldn't have done this. 14, okay, is... I can't fucking do it. I can't fucking do it. 18, that's 32. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Like, I can't think in my head. Well, 10 would be 140. So 20 would be 280. And then 28 minus 280. Is that right? No, I'm not that. What am I? Why do you guys use stone? Kilograms, okay. It's like divide your weight by 2 and then some. It's too early. I have no caffeine. I'm not drinking any coffee yet. I'm only 4 foot tall, though. Gimli. Isn't that what that guy's name is? Gimli? 252. I'm not 252. I'm not 252. If you look at the chart, though, you're not 4 foot tall. I used to date this girl that was like 4'10". That's pretty short. She had to buy kids' clothes. Many years ago. What was I gonna say? Used to be 5'11" and shrinking. That's all of us. Actually, we shrink in one dimension and expand in the other. And if you look at the chart, I should weigh 153 pounds or something like that. I would have to have AIDS to weigh 153 pounds, okay? No thanks. But I could lose 30 pounds. But that's all of us. It'd be easy to do if we found out where the hell we hit our metabolism. The question is, why do Americans not use stones, which were used in England long before AWI? I don't know. Why can't you guys drive on the correct side of the road? Look, even the bloody French get it. Stone, I don't know about stones. Stone, nah. I mean, at least I know what it is. 14. I just can't do math before the sun comes up, or when it's awake, or when it's dark. I'm actually one of the few Americans that's okay with the metric system. Ouch, the AIDS diet. Yeah, you don't want that. Our metabolism is gone. I mean, after you hit 35, it's like gone. I don't necessarily eat particularly bad. Certainly not for a gamer. None of us move around as much as we should, and our metabolisms disappear. But yeah, if you look at that chart, 153 pounds. I haven't weighed 153 pounds since middle school, probably. But those people rely on that chart too much. Everybody's different. Some people are skinny and have all kinds of blood issues. I thankfully don't have that problem. I could use 30 pounds to lose, but what are you going to do? I know how to lose weight. pick up smoking again. No. We could never drive on the same side of the road as the French. I always think something that's really weird about, like, I'm not a Napoleonics guy, okay? I'm a World War II guy. So I always find that the thing about Napoleonics that I find really strange is that, you know, the French are the big nemesis, and I'm like, it just doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound like they're the. But again, it's what you're used to. Maybe people that are really into like horse and musket think of anything after Napoleonic's time kind of the same way I think of anything after World War II. Just kind of like, I don't really want to game that, you know? I haven't painted World War II stuff in 20 years, but I'm really looking forward to doing it again. We'll see. I got plenty of stuff to do. I don't have to buy any of it. And it's kind of cool not looking at stuff in 20 years and then pulling it back out and go, man, I didn't even know I had this. Cool. And it's a good thing I do have it because that's out of print now. They don't make that anymore. Oh, those figures have been canceled. Never did it occur to me that you could have miniatures that are no longer being produced. It's never occurred to me. It was just me being gullible, you know? But there's different levels of things though, because I would rather drive on the English side of the road. Well, not here, that would be dangerous. But I would rather give up that than drive a car that had no clutch and was electric. That's like no fun. Like why even bother? I don't know about shifting on the left. That's got to be weird. Just bought Battle Group rule set to replace Flames of War. That's got to be a step in the right direction. I mean, Flames of War. If Flames of War is going to get people into historical wargaming, I'm all for it. I just don't like codex games. You know, I don't like the, here's the rules. All right, I want to use polls. Well, that expansion isn't out yet. Wait a second. Those are the first sons of bitches that were fighting, okay, in World War II. What do you mean the codex isn't out for the Poles? That's the first fight that happened between the Germans and the Poles. All right, well, I'll do Japanese next. Oh, we don't have that one either. It just, maybe that works for new people, but as an old school, God, I'm not that old. I don't know. I'm starting to think that's like a badge of honor. Like, I'm old school. I say that all the time. Oh, this is bullshit. I'm old school. You know, what it means is you guys changed, everything was working fine and you had to screw with things. But everything I ever played had all the nations for it. It's not like, well, you know, if you really get into it, you get to play the Italians. Well, wait a second. Maybe that's what I want to do first. Seeing a lot of stuff on Battle Group. It looks interesting. It's just a scale I've already done. I've already done that scale of a game. That's what I started with. So I'm moving towards things that have more movie moments and more detailed narrative stuff. But hey, if that gets people into playing, I mean, they certainly have a lot of resources. What I don't like about a system like Flames of War actually is that sometimes there's too many versions of stuff, and as a new player, you can't realize like where I should start. Don't look at this because this is old news, and that happened to me with DBA. I started playing DBA when it was 2.2, but there was this thing called DBA Online. So I started tinkering around with it, not knowing that it is significantly different than the regular 2.2 that I was trying to learn. And it did me a really bad disservice. I was confused all the freaking time. So yeah, I didn't like that. Do you have a preference for World War II rules? Yeah, I play a set of rules. The last time I played World War II, it was a I like rules that are important where the grenade lands. So if you can think of it that way, it's you're not supposed to run 50 guys. Run a squad, and you can have multiple people. And I like, instead of house to house fighting, I like what I like to call room to room fighting, and it just that's what I like to simulate. It means I'm not painting a lot of guys. All of my figures have surnames on them. That's random chit draw. And we were coming up with a set of rules on our own, just for our own use. I don't have commercialization dreams. That's nonsense. Do what you do for yourself, and you know, and that's good enough for me. But a set of rules came out that was really similar to what we were working on, almost like they had listening devices, and we just went with that. And the name of the rules is the Face of Battle, and it's made by a chap in Canada, and they're out of print. Actually, the core rules are out of print. You can get a couple of the expansions of them through Drive Through RPG. One of those. There's a couple of those download war game sites you can get that you have to pay money for them, but you can download them, and I like the infantry rules. I've only played them a couple times, and I plan on changing that. It may be something that I may just play on my own, but it's something that there's some rules for me to paint more stuff. I got like 50 or 60 or 70 of these guys painted, but and a lot more to paint. So I'll start working my way through that kind of stuff. And I don't know if the guys will even appreciate it. I think it may move too slow for them. But I gotta get better at my presentation, because a lot of people, I don't want to look things up and people are just kind of standing around. But what I like about it is it focuses on one thing at a time. So if you imagine like a play, this battle is like a play, and you don't see anything that's going on except when the spotlight is on someone, and the spotlight is the chit draw. You get so and so gets to act. They get an action. They get one action. So that concept is really easy to understand. You just need something written down where it's like, these are the things you can do. You can reload your weapon. You can move. You can shoot. You can, throw a grenade. You can, do all these kind of actions. That concept is easy to understand. You just need to be able to easy like, okay, well, what can I do? So just have something written down. These are the actions you can do. And the spotlight is on that person. So they do their thing. And then when they're done with their thing, you pull another chit out. And you just progress all the way through there. The thing that makes this game different than what we were doing are significantly, not significantly, but the main changes that we were going to do different than this game is I've got this metal out and I don't know what the hell it's for. Give me a second. Oh yes, the little tip here. It's two things. We had a hit number to hit, and then a number for effect, and this one combines them in both. So when you have a rifle, let's say you have an Enfield rifle that this is he still up here? No, I put them away. I put my English soldiers away, the 4 that I have. It combines them all in one roll. So if you roll really low, it's going to have a good effect. And if you roll really high, not only you're going to miss, but you could jam the weapon, which could be, it's some kind of a malfunction. It's something that you have to spend an action to either clear or reload. And you don't know which one of it is at the time. So it's actually kind of elegant the way it does that, because you're not worried about that at that point. And each action basically simulates a few seconds of time. So you're not simulating a huge time. You're just kind of simulating kind of what I like to call is that whole scene in Saving Private Ryan when they're in the house fighting, hand to hand. It's kind of simulates those kind of movie moments. We were kind of taking it at a 2-step thing. So, but there's different levels you can play the game at. I mean different levels is different levels of chit pulls, okay? So you can you pull a chit per squad, like your whole squad gets an action. You could pull a chit and like a fire team gets an action. You pull a chit and one guy gets an action. And I've always did the one guy thing. Because that's what I want to simulate. And also in the games is it's not even a chit pull thing, that you're supposed to make cards and you have 2 decks of cards and each side flips one over and then opposing sides each get an action. But it's just easier to just have one person doing it. So I think what I'm going to do doing it forward is that I'll run one side. Obviously I'll be the most familiar person with it because I got to run the damn game. I'll run one side, and then everybody else can be on the other side. And just go from that. But I've got to do some training games on my own, so that it's not a complicated game. It's a multifaceted game, and it has a lot of minutia, but the minutia makes sense. It's not abstract at all, which is what I'm used to in rules. I'm used to things that are not abstracted. So although it moves slow, you don't have to scratch your head figuring out what the author means by something. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's always the way I'd played rules. I'd always played rules that make sense and are very focus on real life stuff, real numbers. Well, you're dealing with cannons. They penetrate a certain amount of millimeters, and that translates into other millimeters that they penetrate. Not this is an A caliber gun that penetrates B armor at. I always dealt with games that talked about real life numbers, real life stats, so that you're actually learning something. as you're playing the game, not just things that are in a game terminology that you can't carry forward in real life. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but and that really pretty much started with the very first war game that I played significantly was a naval game called Siegfried IV, and that one also dealt with real life penetration in inches and so forth. That was real terminology, not just some make-believe, I've averaged this, or it's an average speed, or, you could actually deal with real life things. So, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I can't play a World War II game that doesn't have a ton of detail. It's just kind of it's always been kind of my first love. And I can't go to that level. One of our guys that plays with us, Joel, he tampers in all kinds of different games, and he's a painter, and he wants to start doing World War II, but he wants to do Rapid Fire, which I've played before. It does not scratch my World War II itch, but I'll play. But he's building all the stuff in 15s, a scale that I don't particularly have any love for modern stuff. I just, I love it for this. I just, when I did World War II, 15s didn't exist for World War II stuff. And I feel like his little hat ought to be white. I just don't know. Let's put this, let's make the little top on it metallic. So I'll play other stuff, but they got to be the point man on it, I don't think I'm going to play another game that's a tournament game. I'll play another game that if we don't like the rules on something, change it, It gets annoying to find something that you have to play a certain way because that's the way the rules are. So, I learned a lot from playing DBA. There's a lot of concepts that I probably would have never understood, appreciated, thought of by playing DBA. Deposed roles. Both people are playing stuff all the time. Both people are just as involved in it. It would have never occurred to me. Something so simple. But I've never played a set of rules that abstract either. I'm not an abstract player. I'm not an abstract thinker. I'm not good at abstract math. I'm not good at any math, apparently, anymore. Anyhow, yeah, I need to start doing math by hand because that was, I'm not saying embarrassing, but you forget things you don't use, Man, he's got a little cloth that he's sitting on. And I don't know what color to do with that. Oh. God, I almost want to do a pink type color. Make him stand up. Eric Jan Renting, welcome. Dirk, Evening for you, Dirk, right? All right, let's do a couple things. The crew on this. Oh, I already got one painted black. Okay, and then we're going to use one of these other guys that we're going to try to aim down somehow. Aim downward from the turret top. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to be able to pull that off. I'm going to have to cut this leg really down, almost to like the knees. Well, first of all, we need to take this Aladdin type sword. Look at the sword that these guys come with. It's tapered towards the end, very much so. It's very 1001 Arabian Nights. So let's take that off. This guy's got a lot of flash too. Sunday night here. Oh, don't wish that upon me. See, I'm really picky about my WW2 stuff. There's just things that, in order for me to be interested in playing it, there's things that I want simulated. You know, and if you don't get that, then it's kind of a... But much more detailed than something like ASL. This guy's got a shitload of flash on him. Is there another fellow that maybe has less on his face? Well, that guy's missing half of a bow. Old casting. Miscast. Well, that guy's in the same boat. This guy's good. Let's use him. If there's a chance that I'm not going to use all of the figures, then there's no point in cleaning the flash off a certain guy. Make him one of the guys you don't use. And it's just like flashes on the face and shit like that. It's just messed up. This guy's a little bit better, but I guess he's got it as well. Okay, we're good there. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this guy down at the knee to get him at the right angle. Well, I may have to sacrifice this guy. And then we're going to have to attach him. We're going to have to paint him with some goop stuff, because I don't want to permanently glue him to something else. All right. I haven't had any coffee. I think we need to remedy that. Let's go have some coffee. I'm looking forward to seeing the elephant finished. Off to a dwarf throwing competition. See you next time. That a thing? Good luck. Are you a tosser or are you a tossee? I love that saying. You tosser. All right, be right back, folks. Okay. 10 folks. Yeah, I don't edit anything, so if I come into a quandary, like I sometimes do, then you get to see that. It makes me more human than some wizards you guys see. Yeah, I could just attach them to this and then paint this. Obviously, this will be attached to something else. Usually one of these. Might have to combine both of these. All right. Yeah, everybody encounters stuff that they're like, I don't know what to do now. So you just got to push through it, and sometimes not lose too much momentum by analysis paralysis. All right, surgery time. I'm fine with where that foot is. We just need to take this guy off by the knee. So let's grab one of these clippers. Is really weak because I've used it for cutting white metal things. And rather not ruin a second one, but I will if I don't find this readily. No, I don't find it readily. Well, I know how to find it. Use this one. Or this actually may be the weak one. I don't know. Let's I really should buy these in bulk. They're actually useful tools to have. I don't want to pick the color of that little cloth that he's sitting at until I've got the crew painted, because it needs to be appropriate to go with them. Right. Here goes everything. Jeez, I thought I didn't. You can tell I don't really do this very often. Let's just take his boot off. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yeah. I want to lower that even more. I don't want to take too much of this foot off because I'd like this may be the big spot where it's stuck in here, and let's take a look at this now. Okay, we're not going to be able to angle it more without tampering with the bow. I think that's good. I think something like that is good. So we don't have to cut anything else off. Okay. Now we'll attach this fellow here. Don't I have one of these that has a different screw at the top? Because this screw, I super glued something on there, so you can see that the threads, or not the threads, but the part where you put the screwdriver in is actually filled in. This one actually has it has some space in there where this can attach in there to grab. Let's not get too big. Okay, and now we'll take this guy and we will attach him like so, and then we can paint him like this. Okay, so we have our two crew members, the other one being the standard Hun guy from Gladiator. All right, let's paint this guy black. Let's put this away for a little bit, or just move it off to the side. Like mouthwash. All right. Last chance for no, we're good for flash. I hate cleaning flash off. Makes a lot less mess doing it this way than this, of course, is Vallejo Surface Primer. Big fan. It flows so well. And it has no smell. As opposed to using enamels, which is what I was doing at one point. This guy wants to come undone. Might have to secure this guy a different way. Getting kind of lame. We'll have to do that after we do this in black. I've used this before. I don't know why it's, maybe this this material is drying too much. Air dried too much. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. So he's done. He's done. The foot guys, I believe, are done as well. Let's make sure I didn't miss any spots. These are old Falcon figures. I have more than that here. I'm only going to put four. I'm only going to put 2 guys on the ground, which is 2 more guys on the ground than anyone else has. Yes, I'm basing on a 40 by 40. Yep. And he overhangs a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right. Put this away carefully. This would create a unholy mess. As watery as this is, as well as this would flow right across the tile floor. Let's put this thing. That would be extremely bad. I can't think of anything else that would be worse than that. You know, maybe lava. Maybe that a volcano all of a sudden came out of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah, here he is. So we're going to hold off on doing the details on the rider until we've got these assistants all done. I want to say the little cloth that he's riding on is going to be a bright, like color. I just don't want it to be too bright and have to repaint it. I'd rather not repaint stuff if I could avoid it. All right, I think we can start on this Hun guy. All right, so 2 guys in a tower and 2 guys on foot. I've never done an elephant with foot guys beside him, but this is a superior elephant, so, and it's not that it has any play like that in standard DBA, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Okay. This guy's dominant color is some form of gray. This is in my way to get to the back side of this. And I do want this elephant to look dull. That is the... Did not want him to be a circus elephant. Hold the peanuts, not a circus elephant. This can go back from where it was. Have like a little basket on top of my thing over there. That's where that goes in. Where's the magic drippings? Airbrush thinner. Maybe I'll give him a... Maybe I'll give him a yellow shirt. Maybe we'll use this for the pants. Right. At least my headache went away. That's good. Pretty much everything else is downhill then. Well, I need some new white. The fastest drying color. Let's get a yellowish type shirt. Well, not too yellow. Man, yeah, this khaki would do fine. Welcome, folks, to Sunday morning painting. It's actually a color I've bought recently, rebought. Got to be less watery than the previous iteration of it. Yeah. Oh, he's got short sleeves. Texas Jim, welcome. Excellent. Texas Jim, who's got to have the world record of longest drive to play DBA in one driving session. Drives through 6 states to get to our DBA game. 6, right? Well, used to. Arizona, Texas, Louisiana. Nah, not that many. Yeah, you got to go to Mississippi, right? And Alabama. Yeah, so maybe it is 6. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, used to be 6. Not anymore. You cut it down to 5. Had this guy that I know that went to go visit New Mexico recently. I think they're originally from New Mexico. 1,000 miles less now that I live in Texas. Holy shit. That's a lot. I think this guy that I know, he's originally from New Mexico, and he just went back there to visit, and he's like, I don't know why everybody thinks Florida is such a great thing. This place, and I mean, I hate the weather here. It's just way too freaking hot, but I love Florida. And I also live in a place that the storms really cannot ruin my day. I mean, they could, but they never have. So, knock on wood. He showed me pictures of New Mexico, and I'm like, this looks like no wonder they test nuclear weapons there. I don't know. I think every state has pretty. When we go to Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's beautiful. I mean, not everywhere in Pennsylvania is, but they got rolling hills and farms and. Pictures, it's like 3. Yeah, the problem with your drive is you're doing it alone. That's the part I think that sucks because, the trip that I take with Mitch, it's not bad. I mean, what do we? I don't know how many miles it is. It's a shitload. It's 15 hours, and it's okay because blah, 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 the whole time. But yeah, I guess the country's a hell of a lot wider than it is tall. So your drive to us is probably just as long as our drive to Pennsylvania. If not, ours is a little shorter than yours. Texas is wide as shit. Got all your stuff ready for the con there next month, which sounds like it's a ways away, but I don't know, what is it, 3 weeks? 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks because I just got my hair cut yesterday. And they said, you want to set up your next appointment? I said, yeah, let's do it in 4 weeks. When is that? And it was right at the same time of the convention. So I'm like, well, I guess it'll have to be the week afterwards. So 4 weeks away. And I got one elephant, a cavalry stand, and 3 units of light horse to paint. I think I'll be okay. I need to stay at it though. I can't be like the hare and just hang out underneath a shade tree. Well, the good news, Jim, is that finishing your leader Polish army. You building later poles? There's a mounted mayhem army. I got a few stands of them for my allies, for my Moldavians. Later, okay, cool. Well, the good news is you don't have to worry about going to Historicon ever to play DBA because it's pretty much dead there. I won't be putting on any games there anymore. Showing this last year was just pitiful. So somebody else can do it. DBA Mecca, as far as I'm concerned, the United States is in Florida. So. Later polls, yeah, I got 4 stands for them. 3 knights and a fast blade. So, ever decide to do that army, I've already got a head start on it. This color's actually turned out to be really nice. This is the second khaki I had. The first khaki I had was an old one that was always watery, and therefore I didn't use it very much. All right, we're good with that. Is it the point where we need to do let's do the wolf skin or whatever the hell this thing is. Let's get us a dark gray. Not the same color the heffalump is. Let's get a different gray. According to your research, to make the army date barely. I'm not going to go there. I didn't build them because I think that they had hussars. I don't think the wing stuff is till like the 1570s or whatever. But hey, do them however you want. Wing hussars, everybody likes wing hussars. Everybody likes wing hussars, except the Turks. Turks don't like wing hussars. It gives them the itchy and scratchies. Although that'd actually be a good fight between them and my Ottomans. I think, balance-wise, I think those two guys would be balanced pretty well. Did you have an army for all the events that we're doing? go take a leak. I'll be right back. Yes, you have a guy for each event. Cool. Well, there's 2 DVA events, maybe 3 that I'm not going to play in. I've been wanting to play another set of rules, and they're offered at times where, I think, thankfully, they're offered at times where it's something that I didn't sign up to run. So Friday night and Saturday morning, well, certainly Friday night. If I hate the game, then Saturday morning, then I'll end up playing DVA. But I've been wanting to play that Victorian set of rules, Blood and Steel. So it's being offered at that time. So now you've discovered the humor of allo allo. I shall say good morning, but I shall say it only once. So let me tell you about allo allo. I was disappointed that the family didn't take on to it. They watched the first episode. I liked it. I've seen maybe 6 episodes so far. It's kind of a Hogan's Heroes carried forward. I think it's better than that. Parts of it were pretty funny. Honestly, parts of it were pretty funny. I was disappointed that the daughter was like, nah, I don't really want to watch. And it wasn't because she didn't understand World War II stuff. I mean, you got to have some World War II knowledge. But it's kind of grainy looking. I'm surprised how grainy looking it is. That's not really what. I'll probably continue watching the rest of them. It's funny that it's the one thing that caught me was funny is I was talking about the doing partisans and about having different factions of them and stuff like that. And I saw there was one episode that had the the communist ones. And I forget what her comment on it was, but it's pretty funny that came up. But if I'm gonna paint any new World War II stuff, that's probably what I'm gonna do. The wings could be a stretch. No, they had hussars. They just weren't the wing kind. Do whatever you want. You know, here's the thing. If you make the wing hussars, I didn't do wing hussars for my knights because I wanted them to be allies for the late 1400 period. So they definitely wouldn't fit in there. You know, if you ever play something Renaissance, then you already have some Renaissance guys, you know. But anyways, if I'm going to paint some fresh World War II guys, I want to paint the French partisans. The funny thing is that the main character in that, his name is Rene, and I was already one of my resistance guys was going to be named Rene anyways. So I thought that was funny, but Yeah, there's a really interesting cast of characters. There's enough different things going on. I think that's what the strong point of that show is there's a lot of, it's not like it's just two guys that are funny. There's a lot of goes in different directions stuff there. But my wife admitted that she could she would continue watching it with me if I wanted to, but the daughter was like, nah, it's not. She has limited amount of time too, and she used to be on a tear watching TV stuff, and now she's kind of gotten out of it, which is good. Don't need to sit there and watch television all freaking day long. So, well, I thought it was pretty funny. There was humor in it. Is a spoof of another BBC series, Secret Army, the spirit of Dad's Army. Okay. Well, it's kind of a French version of Hogan's Heroes, so to speak. Which I used to love watching with my dad. Maybe if I watched it now, I probably couldn't stand it. It'd be too stupid. But, I don't know. I liked the part where the grandmother gets electrocuted in the bed. I laughed. That was funny. Oh, actually, the part that got me really funny was the episode where it's like, I know what's wrong. We're riding on the wrong side of the road. Some things age well and some things don't. Sometimes you'll watch something that you used to like when you were younger, and you watch it now and you're like, what the hell? If you've never seen Secret Army, I have not. You'll need to watch that first. Otherwise, you'll never be able to take it seriously after seeing Allo Allo. If you've never seen Secret Army, you need to watch it first. Otherwise, I'll never be able to take it seriously. I've never even heard of Secret Army. I've heard of Dad's Army. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of Dad's Army. I've never heard of Secret Army. He loves Hogan's Heroes. Only saw it in black and white in the 70s. So I got the DVD. Yeah, I have fond memories of it because I used to watch it with my dad. You know? And, you, our dads influence us positively or negatively and stuff, and that's. He always liked that. It's funny. I don't have a problem with Hogan's Heroes, but I can't stand Kelly's Heroes because Hogan's Heroes wasn't all hippie and shit. You know, there wasn't that much of a difference between what was Hogan's Heroes early '60s and yeah, yeah, I liked it. It holds up well. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I wanted to show it with my daughter, but maybe she just I need to give up on her. You know what movie I want to see? And I'm like, I don't want to. See, I don't want to watch movies alone. Because if there's somebody to watch the movie with, you know, you could appreciate it. The Man Who Would Be King. And I've seen it before. But I'm actually reading that book right now, or having it read to me on Audible. And the guy's I don't. I kind of remember how the movie ends, but I don't remember the the connecting dot stuff. And the guy who does the voices in the book on Audible is awesome. He's really, really good. He'll switch characters and switch accents. I'm enjoying that quite a bit, actually. Secret Army was a 70s BBC series about the Belgian resistance. Oh. Secret Army. I hear Secret Army, and you know what I think of? I think of Patton's Army. Remember the fake one that he did? That he was going to land at Calais? The psych move? But that's Ghost Army, I think. And they actually had like a little unit symbol. They had a unit symbol I think they had the little unit symbol with the. Well, there was a unit symbol that had a little ghost with like a little red lightning bolt through it. Really awesome symbol. Belgian resistance does not get much press. That's for sure. Is it real or was it just a spoof? Main character is a Belgian cafe owner who has a mistress, a bedridden wife, and a female resistance contact. Sound familiar? Ah, I see. So even the BBC can't come up with original ideas, just like the clowns over here. I, I hate that they redo movies and stuff. It's like, man, have you no new ideas? And the answer is no. Okay, I think it's time for the fleshy bits. And we should still have fleshy bit color mixers over here. Is Secret Army also a spoof or is it supposed to be serious? It's fiction, but a serious drama based on the real life escape networks. Oh, cool. Portrayed their struggle to operate the Underground Railway to repatriate downed airmen. I need to read more about the air war, and it's not that I don't know anything. I don't know lots of details. You know, like I know lots of details about the Eastern Front and but the air war. I was just thinking that. While you were typing that, I was just thinking, down there, man. I'm like, okay, at some point, the British went from getting hammered by the Luftwaffe to hammering the Luftwaffe. And I'm thinking, like, how did that happen? Well, I'm thinking, it happened with the Germans freaking sending everybody to the Eastern Front. But those details, I don't know. The air war is the thing I'm the most weak on, easily. And a lot of it is because I don't game it. If I gamed it, I'd be more, like I know a lot about the naval stuff, because we used to game that exclusively. But air war games, unless you're playing flight simulators, there's not a whole lot of air war games out there. Maybe there are, but The main German protagonist, Gestapo officer Kessler, got his own spin-off series about becoming a businessman after the war and in U.S. Germany. Really? And somebody watched that? Because nobody likes Gestapo officers. Even the Germans themselves don't like Gestapo officers. Interesting stuff. There's so many things that I just haven't seen because they don't get airplay here in the States. I had a friend of mine a long time ago that says, oh, you would really like Riley, Ace of Spies. I just haven't seen it because it's not being played. I'm not opposed to British stuff, British programming, by any means. It's just not, they don't show it here. Just like you guys probably don't get everything that's American programming. You're welcome. You don't have to suffer through it. I like foreign stuff a lot. First of all, you get to see people on the TV that you don't normally see all the time. You don't have preconceptions of how they act. Like, oh, that's so and so, the guy from whatchamacallit. You don't have that problem. They would show. They would show stuff. And now I don't know what they show. I don't have television anymore. I don't have cable, but they would show, masterpiece theaters and things that, there were things that just didn't appeal to me. But I would have watched anything World War II growing up, anything, you know. Gestapo officer, and I immediately thought of Major Hofstetter from Hogan's Heroes. And back then, you couldn't watch things in order. You just caught whatever the hell episode was playing at that time. And if it was the next to last one from the whole series run, well, that's the one you got to see. It wasn't like, you got to see them in any kind of an order. So, yeah, that's what I heard about that. It's not available. Series stoked my interest in the Central European Civil Wars from 18 to 21. Sam Neill plays the lead. Truth is stranger than fiction. Central European Civil Wars. Okay, so like the Polish War, I think that'd make a good skirmish game. A Russian Civil War game. I think that would make a really good game. Talk about multiple factions. Everybody with different agendas. Doesn't Peter Pig make guys for that? I think they do. White Russians. Yeah, they sent some British battleships to bombard this, like Iron Duke and stuff like that. Went down to, what, the Crimea? I think they went down to Crimea and bombarded the shit out of some Reds. Yeah, get him again. Never can have enough communists getting bombarded. I never did finish watching that movie, that Russian movie that starts off that we have one of the vendors at Historicon that is the movie guy. He sells all kinds of movies and stuff. And it was a bigger deal 10 years ago than it is now, because now you, through Amazon and you can watch all kinds of shit now that you wouldn't be able to before. But he sells videos, and he's got multiple TVs going on at once. And he has this one, and he just has like little. He doesn't show the whole damn movie. He just has these repeating, maybe 5 minute long sequences, and they're always like the best part of the movie. He'll have the one that has the Japanese one with the battleship Yamato. He'll have, different things going on. One of them he has, what we used to have was the naval scene at the beginning of a movie called, I believe it's called Admiral Kolchak. And it's a guy that ends up being a main guy I don't know about a main guy, but he ends up being a commander in the Russian Civil War. And the naval scene at the beginning is freaking awesome. It's amazing. And I found that movie somewhere and started watching it and just kind of stopped. Maybe the rest of the movie is pretty cool too, but it did not have the pace of the initial action scene where he's a captain of a destroyer. I think it's a destroyer, not a cruiser, in the Baltic in World War One, and it is freaking awesome. It is an awesome little 10-minute sequence or whatever. Riley was a real person, although some of his exploits were likely exaggerated. He was later the main inspiration for James Bond. That's interesting. Well, I like Sam Neill, so, Yeah, I heard good stuff about it. That's what, early 80s, 82, 83, something like that. That it came out. Just hadn't seen it, just wasn't available. I like all the Bond stuff. I've only missed a few of them, like 3. Finally worked our way through like the first 6, so we're watching them in order. They're available on Amazon right now for free. I don't care. We'd rent them. Watch them with my brother and my mom, so. Did I unsubscribe from the James Bond group? I may have. A nasty Facebook group. Just listen to people complain about shit. I think I did. It was just too much negativity there. It was interesting for a while, and I'm like, man, there's just way too much negativity on here. Breakfast. There you go. Always a good reason. Thanks for stopping by, Jim. Glad your internet's working now. You over there with him? You had like a Mexican internet or something like that that wasn't working too well. I don't know, Kolchak. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, Russian Civil War. I think that would be a good venue because of all the different factions and stuff. Armored cars and cavalry and armored trains, and that'd be fun. What do you get to play? I get to play the armored train. Oh, what do you get to decide? If you stop, move forward, or reverse. Kind of limited. I'm thrilled to not have a headache. I was not looking forward to the prospects of that. There's nothing you can find out, not much you can find out about Hun elephants or Hephaesite elephants. So not even enough where I could like an illustration or something like that and put it on there. So we're making this shit up as we go. I just had no idea that the Russians and the English were at odds throughout most of the 19th century. It just never occurred to me. Just not a period that I know. I didn't know that. That's good. I mean, it's not good, but it's good for war game possibilities. It's excellent for war game possibilities. So, the Wolfman, welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, I like those little 300 scale aircraft you have on your video there. There was a company called, I want to say Goblin Tooth Enterprises. They used to make 285th scale. I think they were 285th. Maybe they were 300 as well. Lots of little airplanes. and they were just really really cute. But I just mainly wanted to paint them, not necessarily play the game. I Did you guys hear that they're going to make a Wings of War game for the computer? I think that would be awesome. I think that's a decent enough game that's got potential. I have it. I have the whole first set of the game, and I've only played it a couple times in person. I've played the game many times, but we kind of did like a play by email. Don't ask me why. It's a long story, but one guy that I know was running. I guess he had like a big thing he could like digitize. So you'd send him your moves, and he'd put them on this big screen, and the back of the screen was just white. It was just, minimal detail as far as that, but you were literally legitimately playing with real cards. It was pretty cool for a while. But face to face, I've only played the game a handful of times. It's a decent enough game. But those 300 scale miniatures are very, very cute. Mike B, good morning. Paint one of the crewmen that sits in the tower of the Heffalump. See, can we get him on screen? There we go. He's not completely done, but the elephant part is mostly done. Just haven't painted the crew member on the front. I got some decisions I gotta make, and I figured, well, in order to narrow down my choices, I need to paint the true crew members that fit in the tower. One of the very first video games I played on a computer was a game called Red Baron. And it was a flight simulator game. And the graphics are probably grotesque by today's levels. But, you did get to play some of those World War I planes that eventually, you learn about them. You find out about them because you got to use them in a game. Again, gaming for me has always been about learning real stuff. So, it was interesting how in that game, at least, you went through bursts. You'd burst of one plane is significantly better than another. Like you're flying around in those Fokker Eindeckers, which are really basically crap. And then you get like a Newport 17, and it's just like freaking badass. Newport 17 just can just run circles around them. But it only has one machine gun. So when you get like a Albatross 3, it's got two machine guns. Like, oh, I'd rather run that one. As I play both sides, not like, oh, I only play these guys, I only play that one. I like to play things from both viewpoints so you get to see the experience from both ends. And then there was an Avalon Hill game called Knights of the Air, Knights of the Sky. It was one of those two things. And it was kind of a complicated game, but we played it quite a bit, I want to say. I sold my copy several years ago, but had some complicated maneuvers. But it was Avalon Hill, so you could figure out how to play it. It wasn't like, it was difficult to understand once you read it. We played that quite a bit, actually. Yeah, quite a bit, meaning we probably played it 12 times, 14 times. his little happy hat. I think we're going to use buff for the top, and we're going to use like almost like white around the edge. Give him some color pop. Let's not use that same buff. We're getting kind of, need to mix it up a little bit. Maybe like this dragon, not the dragon, the skeleton bone or something like that. I played several Avalon Hill games growing up. No SPI games. They just showed up too early. They went kaput in the, mid-80s? I just started gaming at that time. And to be honest with you, most of the games don't look very good. Like, I don't mind board games. They need to have some, like, prettiness to it to, captivate you in that period. I find most of the SPI things I've seen are very drab looking. Like, I love that Board Game Geek site because you can go in there and people post pictures of what the counters and stuff look like. And I remember when I was a kid, I had a copy of the Avalon Hill Bismarck game. I didn't know how to play the game, but I had it. And I never really learned how to play it. Then I sold it, and I bought it again as an adult. I never learned how to play it. But I think most chit-based war games look overwhelming. Yeah. Yeah, they do. It's almost like I've got to somebody's got to play it with me, teach me how to play it, and then I'm willing to strike out on my own and kind of learn from it from there. But just if you put something in front of me, I'd rather do something else. I guess I don't want to learn to play it bad enough. My preference with chip games is just put them on computer, right? And then, you set them up immediately. You could save immediately. It's not like, hold on, let me mark down what hexes everything's in. You've been playing a lot of Wings of Glory online recently. What's that? Is that what I'm saying that came out? I thought it was Wings of War. Is it already out? Don't tempt me. Is it on Steam? Let's see. Don't make me buy something. Wings. Yeah, my Wings of War was back before they. Oh, is it out? Well, why did nobody tell me? Oh man. Digital adaptation doesn't have a lot of microtransactions, does it? $15. That's what video games should cost. There's also this ominous, this will take weeks. It's on Steam. Yep, already purchased it. I just mentioned it. I've been waiting for it. It came out last month. cool. And you know, if it sucks after playing it for a little while, you love SPI games. Not many planes yet. They've extended the battle area after feedback. No extra spending. Okay. Well, you love SPI games. One of my favorite games, and it's available on Steam as well, is and it's actually on Xbox as well, where I've done most of my playing on it. Is a game called a light strategy game. I don't know if it is light, but it's I think it has a lot of depth to it. It's a game by a company called Shenandoah Studios. They got bought by Slytherin, I think, or something like that. And they actually made 3 games. They made one that's called like Drive on Moscow. They made one that's Battle of the Bulge, and then they made one that was a Desert Fox one that was only available for the iPad for a very short time, and I purchased it and never was able to play it. But it's area movement, one counter. No, not one counter. You could have 3 counters or whatever in a zone. So it's kind of like a strategic, operational game. I love it. I think it's the meat and potatoes of that game is that you basically get one action and then your opponent gets one action. But the amount of time that passes is random. So you might get an action and 15 minutes go by, and your opponent does an action and 45 minutes go by before you get another one. You have to accomplish things in a time period. I think it's done really, really well. It looks really good. And you can play solo, co-op, or versus. Okay, cool. I like it. Well, that's the nice thing is if you don't like it, you ask for a refund after you've played it for, I think you get a couple hours or something like that. And hell, in 30 minutes, so thanks for that, Jeffrey. Yeah, that's a fun little type game. The counter game that I think is actually pretty decent, and it's available on computer, although I don't know if they fixed the multiplayer aspect of it, is Lock and Load Tactical. It looks great. And you can have all kinds of random events happen. I was playing a Vietnam scenario, I remember, and I ended up generating an enemy Viet Cong leader that happened to be female. I forget what her name is. She had a funny name. And she went and did all kinds of horrible things to me. But it was like a movie moment. Like I really enjoy. I enjoy when things happen bad to you and you just laugh about them because they just create such an atmosphere. I think that's actually a pretty decent game, and because it's on computer, you can't play it wrong. Now you may not be the best player in the world, or you make mistakes. That's okay. That's just part of life. But you can't accidentally move too far. But the multiplayer, it's been out for a couple of years. The multiplayer in it was broken the last time I tried it. It couldn't communicate with itself, kind of thing. So I don't know if they've solved that or not, but it's a good looking counter game. Yeah, the Bulge game had a quick play, but I've not gone deep yet. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. And there's a lot of things to unlock, at least in the Xbox thing, like crush this many units. And I think the Bulge game is more challenging than the Drive on Moscow. I don't know. They're close. They're close. They're both good. I don't know that I have a preference between the two. I think they're well worth the price. I'm disappointed that they didn't make more. I would have bought every damn one they made. That really appealed to me. Really appealed to me. It's simple yet not simple. And I think they're interesting to play both sides. I have a flight simulator one with the virtual. That's a World War One game, and there's a lack of planes. There's no French planes in it at all, and I think that's ridiculous because that's what I'd want to play. Because when do you ever get to play the French when you're playing a World War thing? You don't. You know, you could fly around in a silly accent. You know, there's your reason right there. They're missing a lot of planes. They don't have any Spads or no Newports. But the people that play that though, they're not war gamers. They're not history people. They're just regular gamers. So they did do a World War II one in the Pacific. And when they came out with that, I was really excited. I'm like, cool, I'll be able to talk to people about World War II stuff. They don't know shit. They're just playing a video game. I mean, maybe some people do, but I do like the World War II one because I get to play a P-40. And it was always a plane that I had a soft spot for. It was the first model that I ever built was a P-40 with the tiger shark mouth. I don't care that it's not the best plane. I still like how it looks. Spads are pretty good. They were. They're fast too. Yeah, they don't even have a Spad 7. The Spad 7 had one machine gun. Wonder what planes they'll have in the Wings of Glory. I never played the Wings of Glory version that's World War II. I think that one you just put 2 cards down instead of 3. War II was a combat flight simulator 1. You're talking about the thing on the Oculus? They make 2. They make a World War I one, which was the first one to come out, and they make a World War II one. And the people complained that the World War II one was too fast. I think the World War II one's actually better than the World War I one, and that's not because I like the venue more. It's just because I think it's just a World War one is just, it's too slow. Like it just seems really slow. And people do stupid shit in online games. Like you can have flares. They run around shooting flares at each other. I like multiplayer stuff where you're cooperating against a computer more than playing against real people that may do really absurd stuff. All right, let's put this guy next to the elephant and see how we're. Color-wise, looking okay. Really will be on this side. Okay. We need a little pouch for his little arrow thingies to go in there. Yeah, we could use that red leather. Could change that up a little bit. Add some black to it. The big thing about video games is that make sure they're pausable. Because nothing's more annoying than getting something going and not being able to leave it at a certain point. If it's not pausable, it creates a lot of problems. Got to go now. Painted 2 bases of Carthaginian auxilia while listen. Awesome. It's good to be an enabler. Excellent. Well, there's a reason to put warband. I like putting heavy infantry on 15 millimeter stands if I can. They look more solid. Some people don't. I do. Mitch prefers them that way as well. They just look heavier. But in that particular army, I'd actually be a proponent of putting the solid warbands on 20s deep stands, because then you could use them as solid auxilia whenever you wanted to, because the galls can be either one. And there's no point in painting a couple stands of solid warband and a couple stands of solid auxilia, and they're both galls. I would probably do it that way. No point in doing that extra painting when you could be painting something else instead. You'd be smart with your time. All right, till tips of the arrows. Hair. And this guy's done. Yeah, he's basically done. Oh, how long have we been on here? Almost 3 hours, wow. Excellent. Think we're gonna have to go now and try this chat. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Harvey. I'd say see you tomorrow morning, but tomorrow morning's a dread day. I wish we didn't game on Monday night. It could be worse, but Monday night's not ideal. The guys from Little Wars found out they also game on Monday night. But honestly, I don't know where they play. They keep calling it a club, a club, a club, a club. We're just folks that get together. I don't know if it's at somebody's house, or is it's actually a physical location that they rent out. I don't know. I'd hate to have to charge people to play. That just seems dirty. Well, we got to charge you so you would have a... It's just turn Monday here, so I'm off to bed. Work in the morning. Okay, man. See you soon, Dirk. just turned Monday. We don't need any of that yet. Okay, I'm not gonna even bother painting his shoes. I'm not gonna see him all the way at the bottom. Okay, he's complete. All right, well I'm gonna call this one as well. Almost 3 hours, so maybe we'll see you guys later on today. Not sure if I'm gonna